What's going on, everyone? Hope you guys are doing well. I just want to do a quick video explaining how exclusion is not hatred, because I think a lot of people just automatically equate the two, but they're not the same. This is more specifically, towards certain political things like immigration or immigrants and things like that. People think just because you don't want immigrants, that means you hate them and you're a bad person. So let's get into it. So by definition, these things are not the same thing, right? Exclusion is the process or state of excluding or being excluded, right? Hatred is the intense dislike or ill will. Those things are not the same. And even if you want to say like, oh, well, to exclude means to exclude also does not include anything about hatred, okay? These are by definition, which is a description of reality, not the same thing, okay? When we are describing reality, when we describe something in reality, um, that's our definition. That's what explains what it is, right? So in reality, we have the process or state of excluding or being excluded. We call that exclusion. In reality, there are things that are intensely disliked or we have ill will towards them. We call that hatred. Okay? So these two things, they're not the same thing, right? They exist in reality and we describe them as these things and they're not the same thing. That's why they're separate, is because they're not the same. Um, so I think I've, you could be done here. Like if this makes sense to you, great. If it doesn't, let's continue on. Or if you just want to continue on with us, I want to give some examples to further illustrate this. So a bar or a restaurant excludes you from coming in. They could exclude you from coming in for multiple reasons. It could be because it's a all girls bar or an all guys bar. It's a gay bar and you're not gay, or um, they're full, right? Or they have certain memberships, something like that. Um, there's multiple reasons why you could be excluded, right? Likewise, a person could exclude you from coming into their house. It doesn't mean that they hate you. They could, and even if that was the reason, it still doesn't matter. Like they can exclude you from your house, right? Or a book is excluded from the reading, right? Your professor excludes certain books from the reading because it they're just not relevant to the course, right? If you're taking a politics course, why would you read something about biology? Or a food is excluded from a recipe, right? Doesn't mean you hate the food or the ingredient, right? A person is excluded from a school. Again, multiple reasons. There are so many reasons for exclusion that to think it's automatically hatred or to assume it's automatically hatred is just, I think, foolish and dumb, right? So that's what I'm just saying. Like, think, like, okay, guys, like, I get, the emotional aspect that people can have when it comes to politics and, immigration and stuff like that. But just like relax, take a step back, think, right? Is exclusion hatred or is hatred hatred, right? Like, do they want to exclude people because they hate them, or do they want to exclude people for another reason? Like, what I'm suggesting is, don't automatically assume what someone thinks, right? Give the benefit of the doubt, right? That's I Because I think most people are like decent, they're fine, they're not dumb. So Um, the reason for exclusion, right? As I said, it could be hatred. That's totally plausible, but that doesn't make exclusion of itself hatred, right? Exclusion is an action and hatred is a feeling, okay? These are not the same things. There's possibilities that they could overlap, yeah, but that doesn't mean they're the same thing, okay? Remember that. And that's a suggestion I also I'll give to you for a lot of things, like see if something is an action or if it's a feeling, right? Or something else entirely, okay? So last thing, because I want to talk more about politics and the kind of the point of exclusion is more political. Excluding people from our country or your country is not hatred. It's not hatred. It's just excluding them. You don't want them for X, Y, and Z. That's totally fine. Okay, it's your country. You do what you want. Okay. Just like you can exclude anyone you want from your house. That is your house. Even if you exclude people because you hate them, doesn't matter. Excluding people from blank is not hatred. It's simply not. Exclusion is exclusion. It is not hatred. Hatred is hatred. Okay? You can exclude because of hatred, but that doesn't make exclusion hatred. Okay? Exclusion is an action. You could even say it's a tool, and hatred is a feeling. Okay? All right. Peace out.